And that statement from China was a clear warning, but can Beijing follow through on its threat? What about the crisis within China? China faces two big problems right now, a debt crisis and a resurgence of the Wuhan virus. Let's tell you about them one by one. First, the debt crisis. You must have heard about the problems with Chinese real estate sector. Now, even governments are struggling with their finances in China. Local governments are short on cash. Consider the headlines. Multiple Chinese cities have slashed spending. One of them is Chongqing. It has slashed public spending by $746 million. Earlier this year, the Anhui province decided to cut spending. They want to reduce their expenses by $27 million. But how are they going to do it? The province brought in new rules. Listen to this. The province wanted to cut their printing expenses, so they now require the officials to print on both sides of the paper. Air conditioners are being monitored. Aides are banned from joining meetings to save costs. The city of Fuzhou is taking budget cuts to another extreme. The local officials are no longer buying computers, desks and other supplies. Even notebooks and pencils are not available for the civil servants. How bad are these budget cuts? I have a number for you. Nearly $1 trillion. That's the funding gap. How did this happen? How did the local governments in China run out of money? Well, their sources of funds dried up. The biggest source for revenue for these governments is land sales. This is income generated from sale of land use rights. In April, this revenue plunged by 38%. The Chinese real estate sector has imploded. Several debt-ridden developers have defaulted since last year, so land sales are unlikely to pick up anytime soon. What about other kinds of taxes? Even that revenue has taken a hit. During lockdowns, the Chinese government announced support measures. Tax cuts were given to businesses and individuals. They issued tax refunds as well. Local governments were ordered to pay these out, so they lost money. And now they are finding it hard to sustain. The Wuhan virus could upend China's finances further. There is a fresh outbreak now. Lockdowns have been ordered once again. According to one estimate, at least 114 million people are facing some form of a lockdown. A new variant is fueling this surge, the BA.5 Omicron variant. It is the southern cities this time that are reporting a surge. Shenzhen, Macau, Zhuhai, they all have reported cases. In Shanghai, people are worried. They fear the city could be pushed into another lockdown.
I think the situation won't improve in the short term. I think it's going to continue, and it's getting serious again now. There are some compounds in Shanghai that are being locked down again. There might be another round of big lockdowns. The new cases are because there were people in this karaoke bar that tested positive. A lot of people tested positive, so there are a lot more cases now. They only reported a few of them though, but actually there are probably several more. People now aren't really scared of COVID anymore. They're scared of being locked down in their homes.
They are not scared of the virus, but they are scared of lockdowns. That's what the people of China are worried about. But they might not get a respite from the lockdowns anytime soon. The Chinese President Xi Jinping has refused to dump zero COVID. Last week, he gave a speech in Wuhan. Here is what he said. Our country has a large population. Such strategies as herd immunity and lying flat would lead to consequences that are unimaginable, quote unquote. Xi Jinping declared zero COVID is the most economic and effective policy for China. The rest of the world is now living with the virus, but it seems like Xi Jinping is not yet ready to step out of the bubble, even though his country is still paying a price for the lockdowns and the restrictions. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.